Hello, everyone, and welcome to Politically Unhinged. I am your host, Unhinged Tony, and I look like my dad owns a golf course today. With me today, my host, or should I say, my co-host, is Young Patriot.
What's
Thank
up?
you for coming
Does your
out.
dad own a golf course? Does your dad own a golf course?
No, I just look like it today.
Well, I'm wearing a hat, which I never do, but at least the hat represents what we're here for, I guess you can say. So let's get underway whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I think what we should start off on is let's talk about the government shutdown. While I also figure out why the fuck Instagram hasn't been working these last 2 days, but I'll figure that out another time. It's fucking bullshit. But all right, let's just get this shit started. So the government shutdown. I mean, the left and the media has done a tremendous way of spinning it, where Trump is the one to blame, and for some fucking reason, the American people are buying it. It's insanity at its finest. Why do you think that the American people are buying this bullshit that Trump is the bad guy, Trump's the one to blame?
So I think it's partly true that the American people are falling for it. I'll give you that. But I also think that the election results on this past Tuesday, so a week from today, I think it does largely reflect that the American population has a short-term memory. We talked about this on the podcast last week. They do. They have the electorate is known for having a very short-term memory. What's ever going on the day they vote is how they're going to vote. It will always reflect how they vote, generally at least. But I also think that the results were so substantially terrible and that this blue wave in 2025 materialized so significantly because we are just not getting our people to go out and vote on the Republican side of things. It's becoming an alarming issue. And I think that one is that the people are falling for the shutdown was on Republicans nonsense, but it's partly because the American people don't seem to fully understand that Congress has the power of the purse, that anything related to spending is actually controlled by the legislative branch of government, right? The executive branch does not cover a government shutdown. It's directly, at least. It's more indirect. So they don't fully understand that. A lot of people don't, because a lot of people aren't, studying politics, discussing politics, out knocking doors like me and you are, working campaigns like you are. So they're not as aware of some of these, civic principles. And because of that, they're just going to blame any issue going on the presidential party, no matter what. And that's why their vote reflected the opposite of the president's party. Sorry about my dog in the background. But anyway, though, yes. So I think two things are true. One is that they fell for it because Trump is in office. Three things, actually. Two is because the media obviously is significantly far left. And then the third and final reason I would say is that the election results largely just reflected that Republicans have a really bad turnout problem.
Yeah, definitely. And this is just something that happens with Republicans all the fucking time when it comes to off-year elections. The problem is that the Republicans that we get to nominate, they don't necessarily know how to energize their base.
Right.
And that's something that we all got to work on. If you don't work on campaigns, or if you weren't even someone that stays with politics year-round, you're not going to necessarily know how to energize the base.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, that's what it really comes down to. I'm putting more blame on the RNC establishment than I am on Donald Trump, although Trump's messaging isn't perfect. I mean, I don't know if you saw his 60-minute interview. I think his messaging is not great, although part of that is, again, the left-wing media. They definitely skewed that interview. They edited it, in a way that would look unfavorably for the president. So there's a bunch of issues that compile up and give us the ultimate result that we had last Tuesday, which was a surprising result. It wasn't a surprising result in the sense that, I expected New Jersey's governorship to go Democrat. I did. I expected Virginia's governorship to go Democrat. Of course. I expected the California gerrymandering measure to pass. I did. I expected what's the one I'm missing? Oh yeah, the Virginia Attorney General race. I actually didn't expect that. No, I actually take that back. That one I did not expect Democrats to win. Even in a D+5 to 10 state, I really didn't think they would be able to elect somebody who wished death upon not just his political opponents, but the children of his political opponents. The fact that J. Joe's won is abhorrent and disgusting. Let's just get that out the way. It's disgusting. And it shows that if we're not winning an election so winnable like that, we got a big issue going on. I'm done with this whole play the blame game. You know, it's all on Trump. It's all on the government shutdown. That's partly true. But how about we take accountability? We're not getting these people to come out and vote. And I'll tell you this, I might not have the exact answer about how to fix this. I know you probably don't, but you may have a better answer than me given all your experience on campaigns. But the people at the RNC, these people have been working campaigns their whole life. There's no excuse for this incompetency. There's none whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And Krabby Turtle, we are not saying that this is indicative of what's going to happen in 2026. What we are saying is that the American people are a people of short-term memory when it comes to voting. And the problem is that us Republicans, we do not know how to energize our base when it comes to the short-term memory. We know how to do it long-term. We just can't do it short-term. That's the problem that we have it.
There's one person who can energize the base, and his name is Donald J. Trump. The problem is that he can only energize the base, though, when Donald J. Trump is on the ballot.
Correct.
Because let's just be honest, Donald Trump is, again, I have his gear on right now, right? I have Trump gear on, Trump in the background. Okay, I support the president, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm not in a cult. I will call out the president. I call him out. You do know this. I call him out arguably even more than you do, right? I criticize the president. I'll keep criticizing the president, right? But at the end of the day, he is the one person that I've seen in modern American conservative politics that is able to always consistently get the base out when his name is on the ballot. Now, the reason I think he's only getting the base out so well when his name is on the ballot is because I think he really goes into campaign mode when he wants to win. I just wish he was able to do that across the board, right? And it doesn't seem like he is, and we can't rely on him solely to win. Plus, we can't do that anyway because the Trump era is done after this next 4 years. The Trump era is done after these 4 years. Like to hear it, don't like to hear it, it's over, okay?
Yeah.
So conservative politics is going to move on from Trump, whether we like to hear that or we don't. And at the current moment, it just seems that we're not ready for that to happen because our leaders aren't getting things done. They're not energizing the voting bloc. And it's tough because we've talked about this on the podcast. We've talked about this in private. We have such a working class voting bloc, a low propensity voting bloc. We got to really work to get these people to come out and vote. And it seems like we're not doing half of what we need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, Krabby Turtle, you say who's going to carry the flag. That is a topic we're going to be touching on this entire podcast. We were talking about this earlier in the Discord. Who's going to be carrying the flag? I've been saying that it's going to be someone that Young Patriot, and I know that is an influencer already. And it's not going to be bitch boy Nick Fuentes, who likes to suck dick.
I mean, yeah, that video is 100% real. Yeah, no, I made a video about Nick Fuentes today. Actually, I couldn't actually say the word Fuentes. Thank God I can finally say it. Because TikTok won't even let you say the word. You see, the TikTok bot, don't want to go down a rabbit hole here, but the TikTok bot doesn't acknowledge nuance or context when you say certain things. So you can't even say the word Nick Fuentes, like the name Nick Fuentes. I just had to say Nick F. I couldn't even say the word Goiber. I had to say the G movement, right? It's so stupid. But let me get at this with that. Yeah, no, Nick Fuentes is a Democratic plant. When I say that, I don't literally mean Democrats are paying him. What I'm saying is that his work is decentivizing people to vote for conservative Republican candidates, right? It's decentivizing that. And what that means is that young conservatives who agree with Republican candidates 80+% of the time are going to not vote for them, which means it's going to help Democrats who they agree with 5% of the time get elected. And ultimately, it is largely happening because of Fuentes's anti-Republican messaging, right? So at the end of the day, my point is that he's doing nothing of good in the conservative circle. All he's doing is benefiting Democrats. All he's doing is pushing his far right, questionable to call him far right, ideology. And the reason I say it's questionable is because fiscally speaking, he's not right wing. He's center left. You know, he's a fascist, which fiscally speaking is not a right wing ideology. It's a center left ideology, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we got to get this dude out of the conservative circle. Anyone who's embracing him you're a fucking idiot. Like, I want to get that out the way. And before you start saying, "Oh, you just got paid $7,000 to say that," Anthony, want to answer for the people if I'm pro-Israel to the slightest degree?
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I believe that Israel is potentially the synagogue of Satan. That's not a topic we're going to dive deep into, as Anthony here is not religious, but I am very much anti-Israel. I think Christians are God's chosen people, not Jews. Okay, let's get that out the way. So, sorry, but you're not going to be able to gaslight me here.
Yeah, no, completely understandable. But, and this is the thing that, as conservatives, we need to realize. Right? What I told you is that I think this Nick Fuentes thing is just the newest fad right now. It's the newest thing that's going to be trending for probably like about 3 months. And if you ask me, it's 3 months too fucking many. Yeah, we had Milo for a little bit, and then he fell off a fucking cliff. It would have been hilarious to have him back. Don't get me wrong.
This is going to sound crazy. I miss the normal days of Andrew Tate.
Oh, fuck. I hate Andrew Tate, but at this point, we might as well have him.
Okay, well, Andrew Tate, politically speaking, believes in right-leaning libertarianism, okay? I'm not saying I agree with all the things he says related to gender roles, okay? He goes beyond my level. Not surprising, given I'm a Christian who believes in gender roles, but not to the degree he does as a Muslim. So it's not surprising, right? On the other hand, though, I will take anything Andrew Tate has ever said and actually meant. So I'm not talking about anything he said that's satirical. Anything Andrew Tate has said and 100% meant, I will take over this Fuentes shit. Any day and twice on Sundays, right? I will take right-leaning libertarianism over this fascist, alt-right, collectivist, racist bullshit. And that's what you're getting from Nick Fuentes.
Correct. And the thing is that what I don't fucking understand from the gripers and the Nick Fuentes bitch boys, that's all I'm going to call them now. I'm not even going to call them gripers. Nick Fuentes bitch boys. That's what they're called. Nick Fuentes bitch boys. That's what they are. They are the NFBB. All right. From the NFBB, that's what we're calling them now. No, that's what we're terming it. From the NFBB. Yep. They need to shut the fuck up. Because they don't understand anything. How the hell are you going to call yourself a conservative and then you're going to call yourself a fascist?
Yeah, it's not possible. Right.
It's a fucking contradictory.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, conservatism is objectively a libertarian-leaning ideology. That's not to say that I agree with all elements of libertarianism. Of course I know. I believe in securing our border. I do. I'm anti-abortion, okay? So no, I'm not I don't fit neatly into libertarianism necessarily. And I also believe that, like, gender affirming care, that's what they call it, gender transitions. I do think we should use all power to prevent minors from ever getting this health care, you know? So I wouldn't call myself a libertarian on surface level necessarily, but I absolutely am leaning libertarian. If you grab every issue and you have a scale of authoritarianism and libertarianism, I lean libertarian. I lean even more libertarian than the average conservative. But conservatives in general lean libertarian, okay? Because the conservative ideology is a libertarian-leaning ideology 9 times out of 10, right? But to say that you're a fascist, an outright authoritarian, is not compatible with conservatism, period. It's not.
No, it definitely isn't. And this is the problem with the movement, is that we've gone ahead and said, like, oh, let's encompass everyone and everything to the conservatism, when half the shit that people are saying now isn't fucking conservatism. What it is that it's some stupid fad. It's some form of left-wing propaganda brought onto you by the NFBB, CNN, MSNBC, and the idiots that decide that they're Republican now, but listen to Harry Sisson.
So, yeah, the thing is that this wasn't an issue 2.5 months ago. 2.5 months ago, we had a man named Charlie Kirk who could help unite this movement. He's gone now. What do we do from there? We have an outright racist idiot who's telling you to vote for Gavin Newsom over J.D. Vance solely because J.D. Vance's wife is Indian. He has made this abundantly clear, right? Who is going to stop that? Who is going to call it out? I thought it'd be Tucker Carlson. Fuck no. He decided to interview Fuentes, and it's fine that he interviewed him. He didn't push back on him, really. The same guy who pushed back, let's be real, Tucker ended Ted Cruz's legitimacy. No one cares about Ted Cruz now. Ted Cruz, sorry, dude, you might not even win the next primary, and well, that's not till like 2030. But if you run for Senate again, you might not get it. I'm sorry, bro. You're cooked after that. That interview cooked him. So I don't want to hear this whole thing from Tucker like, oh, do your own interview. No, dude, look at the way you generally push back on people. Why wouldn't you push back on this guy who is a pseudo-intellectual, fake Catholic, racist grifter? Why would you not push back on this dude and say, hey, you're saying that you're not going to support J.D. Vance because his wife is Indian? You're calling his wife racial slurs. I can't remember the exact slur. You can look it up, though. It's a slur against Indians that he called her. You're telling people not to vote for, not support someone like Vivek Ramaswamy solely because he's Indian or because he's Hindu. This isn't compatible with conservatism. Right? This is not conservatism. This is identitarianistic bullshit.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is that the one thing that I liked about the conservative movement is that we were allowing people from, I want to just say different melanin, because it's fucking bullshit that we say, oh, they're a different race. There's only one race that's a fucking human race. All right?
Yeah, there is.
If you look at our fucking DNA, the difference is melanin. And all right. And therefore, Nick Fuentes is already a fucking retard for just going ahead and believing that there's multiple races in general. A lot of people fucking are.
Yeah. So the thing is that there's a left and right race baiting. So the left wing race baiting is anti-white. Okay. It is. It is. The anti-racist, they're anti-white. They are. They don't really fully hide this. We have people like Ibram Kendi. You know who Ibram Kendi is? He's the guy who wrote the book How to Be an Anti-Racist. And his book literally opens up with the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. The remedy to future discrimination is present discrimination, right? So they'll try to gaslight you and say, oh, you're making this critical race theory stuff up. It's like, no, these aren't my words, right? These are the words from the anti-white left-wing racist nutjobs. The issue is how you address that. How you address left-wing racism and anti-white racism isn't with a new form of right-wing anti-black racism. And that's what Nick Fuentes is attempting to do. And that is not conservatism. We believe in colorblind, merit-based, we believe in colorblind meritocracy, that you get ahead in this country not based on your melanin content, not based on your DNA, but based on the content of your character and your contributions to society. Period. That is conservatism.
Correct. And I'm going to tell you how we fucking win right now. All right. We don't prop up racist fucking bigots like Nick Fuentes. Period. All right. I know as men that you guys are looking for someone to go ahead and take charge of the movement to show you actual masculinity. It's not a 5'5" bitch boy that doesn't understand what it actually truly means to be a man. I guarantee this guy was sitting on a fucking book while he had his interview with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. The thing with Nick is, that's the funny thing. I'll say this with like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate fits the alpha male stereotype. He does, okay? He's jacked, right? He's hyper successful, way more successful than Nick Fuentes ever has and ever will be. And I understand why a young man would sprint to someone like Andrew Tate, preaching masculinity and being an alpha male. I get that. Nick Fuentes, though, this guy, you can tell from listening to him, listen how high-pitched his voice is. This isn't some alpha male. This is some dude who is taking advantage and standing on the grave of Charlie Kirk. He's coming in at the right time and using the platform he already had to become more successful and to push this reactionary bullshit, okay? Because that's what it is. He's making people who are very upset with what happened to Charlie Kirk, as am I, and he's grabbing you when you are at a vulnerable position and making you something that is not what you are. That is exactly what's happening. You can be anti-Israel, I am, without being an authoritarian. You can be anti-Israel without being an anti-Semite. I am. You can be anti-Israel without being a fascist or, God forbid, a fucking racist. And I know that because I'm anti-Israel and I'm none of those things I just outlined.
Yeah, definitely. Here's the thing. I don't fucking care if you're anti-Israel or anything, all right? The thing is that And look, I already told you my point of view with everything. I told you that if Israel just fucking lit up everything, as soon as it fucking happened, they wouldn't be in this mess.
That's the Ben Shapiro stance. It's not my stance necessarily. My stance actually might be like annoy people, but I don't care all that much really. My stance is that I just think America needs to stop getting involved in these Middle Eastern conflicts. They're never going to end. Okay. I'm not necessarily an isolationist. Like, I definitely think what Trump's doing in Nigeria is great. We have potential genocide of Christians going on in Nigeria. Trump definitely needs to make sure that shit's not happening. Right. So I'm not an isolationist. I'm not an interventionist. I'm America first, but I'm not an isolationist to the slightest degree. On the other hand, though, when it comes to the Middle East, you maybe can call me an isolationist because it seems no matter what we do, it's never ending war. Okay, so long as Israel is nuclearly armed and there are Islamic countries surrounding it, there's going to fucking be war constantly. I mean, we've talked about this privately. I mean, don't you think that there's nothing we can really do about that?
No, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, you know, I even said that we need to get out of the Middle East. The Middle East is a losing situation for everyone. Mm-hmm. It's a losing conflict, and the thing is that the sooner that either side gets that, the better. Or if we're able to go ahead and do that, it will be so much easier for us to go ahead and be like, hey, you know what? We're now going to be winning this shit. We're now going ahead and actually racing to sanity. Hey. But the only way we fucking do that is by listening to the actual people here. And not going ahead and listening to this griper bitch boy bullshit that Nick Fuentes likes to go ahead and put out there because he likes to suck Destiny's cock. But by the way, that's honestly like how he got fucking famous. He was sucking a dick. He has more in common with Kamala Harris than Donald Trump. I guarantee he would suck Billy Bobby Brown's dick just as much as he sucked Destiny's dick. But no, that's just how it is. Nick Fuentes, literally, I want to say it. He's the male version of Kamala Harris because he sucks dick to get where he needs to go to.
Really, just come back hearing the word Destiny's.
Yeah.
And then I hear you say that he's the male Kamala Harris. That's awesome. Yeah, no, well, he kind of is. Like from your logic right there, he kind of is. I mean, yeah, no, this is what I'm trying to say. Because Nick Fuentes claims, I believe, I could actually have this mixed up, but I believe Nick Fuentes has said that he believes homosexuals should be put to death. And he'll cite like the ancient church fathers for his rationale. He doesn't cite the Bible because he doesn't really believe in the Bible. He believes he can get all this theology from ancient church fathers, which isn't really compatible with Christianity in general, even Catholicism. But point being is that it's always the people who are like ridiculously homophobic, right? Like, because I'm Christian, okay? Like, homosexuality is against my values, okay? I think homosexuality is a sin, okay? But it's the people who are like weirdly homophobic, who believe gay people should be put to death, who end up being closeted gays. And that is Nick Fuentes. We have all the evidence, I believe there's been other stories outside of even the Destiny one that Nick Fuentes is a closeted gay, right? He is.
No, one of our buddies in the Discord server has already confirmed that to us.
Yeah, he is. I mean, again, I don't care. Like, if you're homosexual, I don't. But when you're someone who's specifically trying to preach to a group of people and you're trying to preach this sort of like hatred on people, and yet it comes out that you have a history of being guilty of something that you're preaching is punishable by death. I mean, come on. That's pretty embarrassing.
Well, if he's preaching that, does that just make him suicidal? Let's think about that. Gay stuff is punishable by death, but I like sucking dick. He just sounds like a gay emo kid.
Yeah, I mean, again, we wouldn't even be talking about this guy if Charlie Kirk wasn't assassinated. No. I told this to someone earlier today. Charlie Kirk's assassination, I knew was going to be, terrible when it happened. I mean, because obviously we're losing an amazing man. In my opinion, the biggest activist in America since Martin Luther King, biggest conservative activist arguably ever. Maybe Felice Schlafly compares to him, and that's about it. Okay. And despite that, I still thought that the American right would come together and they would say, okay, let's not let his death be in vain. Let's not use his death to get ahead. In fact, I have my own TikTok. I posted very little about his death because I actually kind of felt guilty when my video went over 1 minute, because if it goes over 1 minute, you can monetize off of it. I didn't want to monetize off of what happened. Like I didn't. I thought that would have been abhorrent. Okay. And I did make a few dollars off of it, not much, but I made like a few bucks off of it. And I felt bad about that afterwards. Like I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about this. I really don't want to monetize off his death. So that's why I quit posting about it after that. Okay, I did. I quit posting about it because I didn't want to monetize off of it. But we have people like Nick Fuentes, and I've defended her to an extent, but Candace Owens as well, who have just stood on this guy's grave. I mean, Candace Owens, I will defend a lot that she's done. I don't think she's, like the worst person ever. She doesn't compare to Nick Fuentes. On the other hand, though, like Candace has stood on his death. She has stood on his grave. She 100% has, with her ridiculous conspiracy theories. And Nick Fuentes has used his death to become famous and used his death to infest the minds of young men, right? So again, I knew Charlie's death was going to be bad, but I thought the American right could come together.
Yeah.
And that's not what's happened at all. It has paralyzed the conservative movement.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, 100%. Charlie Kirk dying is the worst thing that happened to our movement, because we're in this fucking limbo now, and you had this fucking idiot that saw the opportunity, and in all honesty, I want to say good for him for taking up on the opportunity to go ahead and brainwash fucking people that were grieving. All right. That was a smart business opportunity for him to do. All right. Same with Candace Owens. Candace Owens, we all basically forgot about her up until she went ahead and was like monetizing everything about Charlie Kirk's death.
Mm-hmm.
It was a business decision that they decided to do that. And keep in mind, you already knew this too, all right? The only reason why this show is back, the only reason why I'm even remotely posting again is because of what happened to Charlie. And that's just how it is. We need people to go ahead, and if you've retired like I did, come out of the woodworks again. All right, Milo, fucking come out again. All right, don't go on Candace's show. Just fucking bring back your own podcast again. It just own the fucking lips again. It's freaking hilarious watching your clips. I miss those clips so fucking much.
I think we need Andrew Tate to come out of the woodworks. I'm not even kidding. Dude. We need someone. Someone's gonna have to get these young men off of Nick Fuentes. I can't with this. This shit is unbearable. I have people I've been friends with for years, went to my school, graduated in my class. I graduated this past year, who I talked to privately for the first time since graduation, and he told me that he's now a Nazi. Okay, this is a serious problem, guys. This is a serious problem. We've got to stop this, and we've got to act quick. If we don't act quick, we will give this country over to the far left lunatics. You may ask, how are we going to give this country over to the far left lunatics? Well, I outlined it earlier. If these people are listening to Nick Fuentes and he tells them, do not vote Republican because they're also bought and paid for by Israel. Do not vote Republican because X, Y, Z. Which, again, we'll talk about the Israel issue more later in the show, I guess. But, again, if you agree with someone 80% of the time, and Israel is just the main big issue you have with them, why are you going to not vote and let someone you agree with 5% of the time, someone who believes in government-run fucking grocery stores, why would you let that person get elected all over the Israel issue? That's fucking ridiculous. If Trump didn't get reelected, you understand the average American family would have been paying $2,500 more in federal taxes because the Trump tax cuts would have expired. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 were set to expire this year.
Yeah. Yep. And people don't like to realize that. When I tell people that I'm better off now under Trump than I ever was under the Democrats, they tell me I'm fucking crazy, but it's the truth. A lot of Americans also feel that way. Yeah. Fuck it. All right. We're about to get a $2,000 check because of the fucking tariffs. All right. Did this shit go down? Like, fuck. Okay. All right. Can y'all still hear us? All right. I think okay. His shit went down. All right. That's what fucking happened. All right. But no, we're about to get a $2,000 check, heck, because of the fucking tariffs. That is something that hasn't even fucking happened in a long time. The tariffs are fucking working. That means our pocketbooks are gonna get fucking bigger, people. What? Like, this is the shit that we need. We need actual Republicans to understand that tariffs work. We need people to understand that. The tariffs are working. You're going to have more fucking money. And the thing is that it's not going to be inflationary because that money's already in the system. Right. And that's just the fact. The money's already in the system. So what's the fucking point of us going ahead and being so pissed off about it? Okay, so his shit's still loading in. But that's just this fucking thing. Like, we shouldn't. We shouldn't be angry about it. Period. Good. But here we are. I mean, we're just sitting here like sitting ducks, just going like, you know what? Nothing's ever going to fucking change. But here it is. We have the fucking change we've been looking for God knows how fucking long. And yet people don't want to fucking understand it.
There we go. Okay. Now can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. You're just not going to be heard on Discord.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So my internet went out, of course. Wait, it might have just went back on, actually. One sec. If it did, I'll try to join this on here. But what I was saying, though, was that the One Big Beautiful Bill, I've given it criticism, don't get me wrong, but we all have to praise the fact that we were able to extend the Trump tax cuts, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, and we saved the American family an average of $2,500 per year. So when people say, oh, it doesn't matter who I vote for, well, you just saved yourself $2,500 a year by electing Donald Trump. Okay, it does matter. Pretending like just the fact that many are bought and paid for by AIPAC is all that should matter to you is absurd. And this isn't to say that I don't want AIPAC out of our politics. I do. I think AIPAC should have to register under FARA. I also think that we're getting down that path in the Republican Party. I think if you actually see, Tucker has said that privately J.D. Vance isn't really pro-Israel. We have people, newer generation conservatives like Vivek Ramaswamy isn't very pro-Israel. I think we're going to see this party morph into a less Zionist viewpoint. I think they're going to morph into having a less Zionist viewpoint. Okay, and I look forward to it. On the other hand, though, let's not pretend like this is the only issue that matters. They're using the Jews as their scapegoat for everything.
Yeah.
Also, the internet's back up. I can join in on here now.
All right.
Oh, sorry, my internet went out, y'all.
Yep. I mean, it's just how it is. It's I mean, you said you're saving 2,500. All right. It's more like 4,500 because now we're getting that stimulus check from the tariffs.
Yeah. It's true as well.
All right.
And
so it looks like you might want to leave the stage for the Discord and join back in for it.
Oh, okay. Wait, I know what the issue is.
Yep. But no, right now it's in that 4,500 a year, and I guarantee it will go ahead and will go up even more.
There we go. I had to turn my output volume down. There we go. Now it's good. Okay. Hopefully the internet didn't go out again. I am sorry. I completely apologize. That was terrible that it happened while I was just making a really important point too. But we can get back on with everything. Were you able to improvise and like talk about something for a little bit though, at least?
Yeah, of course. I work in politics. I know how to speak out of my ass. And yes, Gage, we are getting a 2K stimmy. This is something that is just getting talked by Congress right now too. It is most likely going to happen because this is already money that's in the economy. So Trump may not actually need congressional approval because of it. We're just in a weird gray area with it.
I haven't actually heard about that.
Yeah, he's already proposed that we get $2,000 from the tariffs.
Well, no, I've heard about that, but I didn't hear that he would be able to do it without congressional approval. I thought that they would
Yeah.
need congressional approval.
So it's in a gray area.
Oh, that's weird. I mean, I know some people are trying to say he shouldn't be able to impose the tariffs on foreign countries without congressional approval. I don't know. That's a tough one, I will say, because yes, the Congress does have the power of the purse. On the other hand, the president is commander in chief, though. So that's a tough one, because if it's really the president's duty to deal with foreign policy, shouldn't they be able to say, hey, stop fucking with us. Hey, stop robbing us. It's a tough one. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean, the tariffs are a really interesting phenomenon. I say that because tariffs are nuanced. They are. I won't pretend like it potentially won't have some short-term pain, because it may. But I do believe two things. One, it's short-term pain for long-term gain. And two, the real big thing is that when we are operating under such an economic deficit, tariffs can be a great way to lift your spending up. It can be a great way to get you an economic surplus. We actually had an economic surplus, I believe, in the month of June because of the tariffs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thought so. Okay.
We're actually having an economic surplus this last quarter as well.
Okay, there you go. That's because of the tariffs.
Yep. And the thing is that if any party was smart enough, they would say that we should have even more tariffs because of this. But the American people don't understand what a tariff actually is. And that's because we don't have civics lessons anymore.
Right. Yeah. Also, the other thing is that I believe where we went wrong, though, in the One Big Beautiful Bill is it was such a good opportunity to cut the shit out of our spending. And we almost did it, but then we decided to up the fucking defense budget by $150 billion. Why? Why the fuck did we do that? That's the one big issue I had with the OBBB. On the other hand, I want people to keep in mind, the contrary could have been the Democrats getting elected, and they would have upped the spending, I promise you, by a hell of a lot more than Republicans did.
Yeah. I mean, you know my opinion on it. A lot of people do. I say we should have cut spending by 5 to 10% across the board.
Yeah, I agree. You also say I'm not going far enough when I say fire 75% of bureaucrats. You say it should be 90 minimum.
Yes. Get rid of most of them, because a lot of them just fucking sit there and do nothing. There's no fucking point for these people to be on our fucking payroll. I want so many of these motherfuckers gone, because let's be honest, they were probably on the Epstein Island anyway. Or they were freaking videotaping or watching Nick Fuentes suck a cack, but
no wonder this show's called Politically Unhinged. I mean, I'm the least unhinged guest you have. Literally. Gage didn't get too unhinged though last week, but I am the least unhinged person on this podcast. I don't know that you're the most unhinged, though. I mean, look at that quote Eric had last time.
Yeah. That was fucking fantastic.
Where
he and I just said fuck, motherfuck, noise. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Smoking weed, rolling fatty, smoking blunts. Who's smoking the blunts? We smoking the blunts. Rolling blunts and smoking blunts. Where we literally just said fuck like about 20 fucking times in the freaking minute. But
well, yeah, because it was the flying fuck is an extinct fuck. That was the story.
That was so fucking great with it. It's that, as you know, I fucking clipped it. That was probably the most clippable fucking moment ever. But
second most, I know what the most is.
Me talking about Nick Fuentes sucking dick?
Actually, maybe it's third most. That might be second. Number one, the most quoted moment ever. We were in a TikTok live one time. Now you already know where this is going. We were in a TikTok live one time. And I was debating this left-wing dude. And I was like, hey, man, I was actually being real calm. I was like, hey, man, listen, you're getting really emotional here. Okay, let's ease back. Let's get back to the debate. And he went, dude, I'm a liberal. Of course I'm getting emotional. I swear to God.
I gotta fucking look and find that clip, because I will fucking play that shit on repeat so fucking much.
Yeah, he did say that. He indeed did. I'm not making that up.
He did. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I was trying to sympathize with him. I was like, "Hey, dude, let's come back. You're getting really emotional." And I thought he'd be like, "Okay." But no, he went, "I'm a liberal. What do you expect? Of course I'm emotional."
Like, I don't fucking expect it. Like, he said the quiet part out loud.
100% did. He 100% did, dude. He 100% did. But yeah, no.
Of course, I'm getting emotional. I'm a liberal.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The left.
Yeah.
The left is definitely in complete shambles, I think. And the problem is that the right. It was a big opportunity after we whipped their ass in 2024. After their approval rating fell to like 20%. It was a big opportunity for us to pile an ass whipping on so much that we were able to win in an off-year election. But no. The RNC doesn't know how to do that. Come on, Trump doesn't know how to message and get that done. I got his stuff on. Don't get me wrong. I support the guy, but his messaging was off in 25. And I think the real issue, though, is that we have a lot of young conservatives who are getting their politics from a pseudo-intellectual, fake Catholic racist grifter. And it's a problem that, like we've said it many times in this podcast, it's going to need to get addressed sooner rather than later.
Yep, agreed.
You want to be the guy to address it, Anthony? How would you address it?
Oh. How we get rid of this idiot?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We need the young people to actually listen to the young conservative voices. The ones that will actually make sense to you and will actually fight for you. All right. You do not want to be a Nick Fuentes bitch boy or the NFBB. All right. And Nick, if you're somehow fucking watching this or find anything out about it, I will go ahead and I'll debate you on your fucking turf. I will do it. I will debate you on your turf. I don't fucking care the time or the place. I will take off from my job and from the campaign to debate you and put you in your fucking place like Destiny did while you were on your fucking knee star again.
Well, okay, I wasn't expecting all that, but yeah, no, I think you could crush Nick in a debate. I do actually think that. I think, again, the issue is that Nick is a pseudo-intellectual. Okay, he misuses some of the intelligence that he does have. He misuses some of the information available, whether it's historical information, theological information, scientific information, political information. The whole host of things. He misuses it and he skews it and he presents it in a way that isn't accurate, which is pseudo-intellectualism. And that's what he is. He's a pseudo-intellectual. He's a fake Catholic. Catholicism is not compatible with racism. It's not compatible with denying the Bible. And again, the guy is just so illegitimate in my eyes. And the fact that he's gained all this traction just shows we're not in a great spot. No. And I do appreciate that we've, spent our time really going after this idiot because he deserves it. I'm surprised. Has anyone said the R word yet? Anyone called him the R word yet?
You're fuck it. I'll do it. Nick Fuentes, retarded faggot.
Okay. I wasn't expecting the F word as well. All right.
So what? He's a retarded faggot that sucks dick.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, yeah, the way Republicans win, though, this is what our whole question has been. There's a few ways to look at this, but the Fuentes one is definitely something that needs to be addressed, right? Yeah. It needs to be addressed. But I think we need to address the Israel issue, too. We need to stop with the Zionist establishment bullshit. Like, we're just going to have to realize it's not electable anymore. Young people don't like it. Boomers, sure, they like it, but guys, we got to think about the future, first off, and two, I think boomers will vote Republican either way, really. Like the boomer conservatives will. Maybe not the boomer moderates, but boomer moderates, again, guys, they're playing a lot less to do with the electorate than before, so they shouldn't be our sole focus, right? But the issue is that we seem just so obsessed with this old guard neoconservative establishment, and we're just so scared to go outside of its realm. Like, move on from this pro-Zionist bullshit. If you want to win elections, just do it. Why is it so hard? Like, we need to move on from the pro-Israel shit, but we need to at the same time say we're never going to embrace nor accept within our movement this Groyper racist fascist bullshit. In fact, screw it, this retarded shit, because that's what it is. It's retarded. Okay? Come at me. I said the R word.
Yeah. Now, what are we calling them? Actually, they're not Groypers. What are they?
The NFBB.
Yes, the NFBB. Nick Fuentes bitch boys. And
Okay.
I am going to be sending that. You know what? Fuck, we're sending that to every single Republican creator that doesn't like him. That's what we're going to start terming it. And it's definitely going to fucking kick off.
Yeah, I wish I could say Nick Fuentes bitch boys in my TikTok content where I have like 30,000 followers, but you can't do that. Can't do that. Can't even use the word.
I'll do it. You know, I don't give a fuck.
Well, you're gonna get banned. You actually can't use the word Fuentes in the videos.
Okay, fine. You put NFBB.
Just say Nick F bitch boys.
Yeah, and then say NFBB right after that.
Okay, yeah, there you go. You can do that. Yeah, but it's definitely a problem needs to be addressed. We have to stop the Israel shilling, the establishment shilling. We have to exit that while also saying we're not going to embrace this Groyper nonsense. That's how we can win. That's how conservatism can win. But that's just the messaging part. Like, really, that's just the messaging part. We're not even getting into how we need to campaign better, because we're not using grassroots to our advantage very well. We're relying on organizations like Americans for Prosperity to bail us out. Right? That's what we're doing. The RNC is not doing their job, in my opinion. I don't know if you disagree, but I think they're doing a horrible job at whatever the fuck they're doing.
No, the RNC has been doing a terrible job. And the thing is that the RNC, what they are supposed to do, they are supposed to be looking at races and be like, you know what? These are winnable. Hold on. And give us the money to win these races. All right? That's a hint, RNC. Congressional District 3 of Maryland, we need your money. We can actually win this. But anyway, they don't have the platform that they used to. Republicanism used to be a grassroots thing, and it's fallen onto the wayside of us running campaigns and these local and state elections rather than getting the help that we need to from these people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, look, I'm the person to know for grassroots when it comes to the state of Maryland. I'll say that. But that's the problem. And the thing is with our campaigning and all, yes, we still have to have that grassroots thing, but we need to go ahead and transition into that social media as well. And that's something that the Democrats did really well. They got on it early.
Mm-hmm.
They transitioned to the social media campaigning, changed the game. Now, if we could also capitalize on what Trump did to change the game,
I was just about to say that, yeah.
We're going to win. You got to do the podcasts. Doesn't matter if you're running for a very local seat. You got to do a podcast.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people don't really give a shit about going on and talking to Brett Baer on Fox News or going and talking to Abby Phillips on CNN. No one gives a shit about that anymore. Right. Those days are fucking over. No one gives a shit about what Fox News or CNN has to say, or MSNBC with what's her name, Rachel Maddow, or any of those idiots on MSNBC. No one gives a fuck anymore. Okay. Like, those days of politics are done. And is that a good thing? It's a good thing. Yes, it is. No, it's a good thing because, the mainstream media is not what it used to be. Like, the media used to be fairly unbiased. And at the time, I would say it's a bad thing. But now in the modern era, yeah, no, it's a good thing. But with that, though, there's a caveat. You have got to get into podcasting. You are going to have to, if you're running for presidency, you need to go and see if Joe Rogan will let you on his show. You need to see if Theo Vaughn will let you on his show. Instead, the only podcast Kamala Harris went on is a podcast called Call Her Daddy. There's why you fucking lost the election, you dumbass.
Yep.
Well, a multitude of reasons why Kamala lost the election. 312 to 226 in the electoral vote by, what was it, 2.5 million raw votes. Got her ass handed to her. And the day after November 6, 2024, I thought things were in a really good spot. Fast forward a year later, and the conservative movement's at the lowest I think it's actually been since I've gotten involved in politics.
Well, like you said, that's also because we suffered a loss. We're going to bounce back, but it's going to take a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm worried about 2026, right? I'm actually officially worried about it. You see, I feel like, let's just use the Ohio race as an example, the gubernatorial race. That should be a gimme. I think Vivek should win that easily. He should be able to win that by 10 plus points, at least 5. Okay. Right now, I think that race is going to be razor thin. I do. The polling data does show he should win it. There's only one poll that had her winning, and it was or is it him running against her? Him, I can't even remember, actually. I can't remember. I think, is it a girl running against him? Do you remember?
I have no clue.
I can't remember who's running against him for sure. But there was one poll that had the Democrat winning by 1 point, but it was a Democrat-led poll, so that's actually very inaccurate. Plus, the polling data is very skewed to the left in Ohio. So really, the aggregate has him up by 6. And that sounds good and all, but the problem is that when we are just relying on these low propensity voters, the polls could be skewing in favor of us. We could get our ass handed to us. And if we get our ass handed to us real bad, that could end up being a close race. But what really worries me and makes me think Vivek may be in trouble, and I don't want to say this, it's because of Nick Fuentes. It actually is. Nick Fuentes is going to do anything he can to make sure that young men do not vote for Vivek Ramaswamy, who, by the way, 2 years ago, the big trend was Vivek Ramaswamy among young men. I'm sure you remember it. I definitely remember. I was posting about all of his debate clips and the Republican debates in 2023 for the 2024 election. I was posting about that. I'll be just straight up. I made thousands of dollars off the guy. Off the dude's debate clips, I made thousands of dollars. I'll just say that right now. Okay. But you fast forward 2 years later, and the guy might not even be electable solely because of the group of people that he was appealing to 2 years ago. That shows how big of an issue we have with Fuentes. Okay. He is grabbing these young voters and he's saying, do not vote for him solely because he's Indian or because he's Hindu. It's fucking stupid, right? And I know you're not the biggest Vivek fan. You think he might be a grifter, but can we agree he's a lot better than the contrary could be?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely agreed. And the thing is that during that entire primary cycle, that was one of the few times that you and I were actually disagreeing with it too.
Mm-hmm.
I told you my feelings about Vivek. I told you that I think he was a moron. Definitely. But the thing is that, I wanted DeSantis. I came out publicly and endorsed DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so my number 1 was Vivek. My number 2 went back and forth between Trump and DeSantis, but for most of the time it was actually DeSantis until DeSantis wasn't electable. And then it was Trump, and then 3 being the other one. But those were my main 3. And then I ultimately voted for Trump because I'm in Indiana, and Haley was the only other option on the ballot. So I voted for Trump in the primary. Had Vivek been on the ballot, I would have voted for Vivek. I would have. I don't really feel ashamed to say that. Vivek is more America first than Trump. Vivek is more conservative than Trump. He's the only candidate I've actually ever seen who really wants to get bureaucracy out of our politics. Now, I know you say he doesn't go quite far enough because he says 75%, you say 90%. Fair enough, but he wants a hell of a lot more bureaucrats gone than President Trump has gotten rid of. I think we can at least agree there. So the issue is that we have people who are telling us not to support this guy solely because of his ethnicity and his religion. Get over your fucking self. You're an idiot. If you think that you shouldn't be voting, you should just stay out of politics, and you're an idiot.
Yeah. No. Thing is that we shouldn't give a flying fuck, in all honesty, about someone's race or their religion when it comes to it. Period.
Right.
And as long as we agree with you on your policies, that's the only thing that should matter.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. And like we were just saying, the real conservative viewpoint when it comes to race specifically is that your race doesn't define you. Okay. It's that your race has nothing to do with if you do or don't get ahead. We believe in meritocracy. We believe that we should be colorblind racially, that we shouldn't look at one another by the color of our skin. We shouldn't say you're privileged because you're white. We shouldn't say you're held back because you're black. Okay. The left-wing stance is instead that we need equity for marginalized groups and that we need to give them an easier cushion because of marginalization. Okay. That's the left-wing view, which is hyper-racialized. And then there's then there's the NFBB view, which is that the Nick Fuentes bitch boy view, which is that you basically grab that left-wing racialized view and you flip it and you say that, oh no, we need a white supremacist nation. You're like, we need to call out both. Both are bullshit. Both aren't compatible with the e pluribus unum, which means by one. What does it exactly mean? It means one of many, by one many. It's something like that. It's essentially, it's a Latin term that means this country is by multiple groups. Okay. It means that, and this is again, the founders way ahead of their time. Okay. They knew that we would eventually be in a society that is racially diverse. And they wanted a society that would be united upon the classical liberal American constitutional principles. Okay. That's exactly what they wanted. They never intended for us to go down this bullshit Fuentes path where we're trying to make an authoritarian state, an authoritarian ethno-state. It's fucking abhorrent.
Yeah. 100% agreed.
I hit the nail on the coffin there.
Yep. 100%. I mean, kind of can't fucking argue with that logic. Like, it's rock solid. Like, the only way that we can go ahead and get Republicans to win, just like you said, get rid of the NFBB stance. It's that simple. That's how Republicans can win. And if you guys are in my state of Maryland, and if you're not going to vote for my candidate just because of the freaking color of his skin, fuck off. You racist pieces of shit.
Exactly. Yes. Now, I don't know how much of this isn't just online talk. I don't fully know. But yes, that is the first step of how we can win elections. We have to stop this Fuentes bullshit. But that is also just step one. Okay. I think step one is that, plus we have to stop the Israel shelling. That's just in regard to messaging. We have to say we're disavowing Nick Fuentes. We're also changing our tune on Israel. We have to do that. But the second thing,
my thing with Israel, we can literally just stop talking about it.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
That works too. I'm fine with that. But the second thing though is, like we said, we need the RNC to step up. We do. We need the RNC to step up. And we need to start delivering for our voters, because Trump did that to a good extent. He extended TCJA, okay? He definitely combated DEI. The tariffs have definitely, in many ways, been a great thing. Like we've talked about how we've had an economic surplus. So there's a lot great there. Don't even get me started with the southern border. I mean, oh my gosh, our southern border is completely different than it was a year ago right now. Okay, kudos to the president. Kudos to the president for that. On the other hand, though, there are things that Trump did that I don't think we really voted for. Okay, I don't really think very many people voted for Trump other than the neocon establishment base, thinking, oh yeah, let's increase the military deficit by up to 1.02 trillion. Let's increase it by 150 billion. Were you wanting that? I wasn't wanting that, right? So what I would have liked instead of doing that is, how about we add to our tax reductions? Why don't we add to TCJA? Instead of just extending it, why don't we add to it? Why don't we give even more deductions? Okay, give even more deductions and then cut even more than we already did, which they cut a lot. The issue is that they fucking ended up adding 150 billion to the military budget, which meant that the other cuts didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Completely. So I think
Agreed.
we're gonna have to stop being so milquetoast. Basically, we're delivering. Trump delivered, but we're gonna have to deliver more. Because if Trump was delivering a little bit more, this Fuentes shit wouldn't even be a topic.
Yeah. Trump has to deliver And in all honesty, it can't just be one of us stepping into the Charlie Kirk role. It's going to have to be multiple.
Right.
The only way that this movement will go ahead and be successful now is if we have multiple people step into this role at once. That's the only way that we can be successful again. And we got to have at minimum 3 people step into this role. We have 3 people step into this role. We're going to be better off. That way, we're not going to be struggling, looking for someone, going ahead and say like, "Hey, where are you? Oh, you're gone now. Oh, you just left." If we have 3 people, well, basically our trinity, what I want to call it now. Now, if people want to say I'm going to be spiting Christians because of it, go ahead. Whatever. It's our trinity. Yeah. We're going to be better off. If we get 3 people to head the movement without one of them actually giving head up, we're going to be better off.
Was that another Fuentes reference? Okay, we've dogged on this guy so much, but in all honesty, though, I know we've made fun about it, but it is serious. It is serious. On the other hand, though, there's a lot more that the Republican Party needs to do. It's definitely a very complex issue. It's a very complex answer. I can't give you just a quick 2-minute answer. It's tough, and I know you can't give a quick answer either. It's a tough issue. It is. But I do believe that if they at least took what we're saying into consideration, that would do a lot more than what they're doing right now, which is sitting on their ass and ignoring everything that's going on.
Yeah. Definitely. That's what we need to do. We need to stop sitting on our ass. We need to get the people energized. That's the only way that we can go ahead and win. We got to use social media. We got to use that passion. That passion is how you drive out votes. It's the only way we win. All right. So
100%. 100%. And I think there's one more thing we should talk about real quick, though, and that is the gay marriage decline, I guess we could say. The Supreme Court was, they were basically voting on whether or not they were going to hear a case to overrule the Obergefell decision, which happened in 2015, which legalized gay marriage at the federal level under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which, again, I do think that ruling went too far. I think it should have went through the legislative process. But the real question right now is, do we think that the Supreme Court should overrule Obergefell? And I'll let you go first, but then I want to come at it.
So personally, I don't think so. Right. That's because right now I think it's a losing topic. It's a losing topic because a lot of Americans are just like, you know what, it's enshrined right now. And it's too early for us to go ahead and say anything about it. If we want to go ahead and change it up a bit, maybe, same-sex couples don't get the same tax breaks that straight couples do, we'll be better off with that. But we actually got to word it into the law. And don't give me this bullshit that it's discrimination and all. It's not. They literally can't give you a biological child between 2 men or 2 women.
So I'll go at this with 3 ways. So there's 3 ways that I think this issue needs to be considered. Morally speaking, I do believe that homosexuality, or specifically gay marriage, I do believe that it's obviously against my principles as a Christian. Don't get me wrong. Okay, homosexuality, gay marriage against my principles. I also do believe that it's better for society if gay marriage isn't a common phenomenon. Okay, I do think that. Okay. On the other hand, there's another thing we have to go to, which is the legal and judicial side of things. Legally, I do believe that we do have to have a government that is as small as possible. Okay, even though I'm against gay marriage, I also do understand the idea of to each his own. Okay, 2 people want to get gay married, doesn't really affect me. It's not the end of the world, right? So I understand that as well. And then on the judicial level, this is where I may surprise some people, despite what I just said a second ago, but I actually don't think that gay marriage is protected by the Constitution. I think that was loose judicial activism on steroids, okay? It might not be on the level, it isn't on the level of Roe v. Wade, but the Obergefell ruling definitely stretched the meaning of the 14th Amendment. Okay, it stretched the meaning of the Equal Protection Clause because the Equal Protection Clause is related to racial equality. It's not related to gender equality, which is why the Equal Protection Clause does work for interracial marriage, but in my opinion, it does not work for gay marriage. Okay, so judicially speaking, I do think it never should have been ruled upon how it was. However, we have number 3, and that's the political side of things. So part of the reason they probably didn't vote to overrule it is because they're trying to practice stare decisis, which is this idea that you basically don't overrule past precedent. Okay, and they go past this at times. Obviously, we know that with Dobbs v. Jackson, where they overruled Roe v. Wade, but it's only been 10 years since the Obergefell ruling. They're not going to overturn that 10 years later. You know what I mean? It's too early. But the more important thing is the political side of things. And this is why we probably shouldn't overrule it. It's political suicide. Okay, we're not ready for it. We're not ready for it. We just got our asses kicked in the 2025 off-year elections. We will really get our asses handed to us if we overrule gay marriage right now. Okay, it's a politically losing issue right now to do, and we should not do it. On the other hand, I do think that our stance in regard to the LGBT issue should be this: you can marry who you want, when you want, if you want. Okay, but that doesn't mean we're going to subject our kids to gender transition or, God forbid, puberty blockers. It doesn't mean we're going to teach them about homosexuality in schools, right? So we need to be principled, and we need to separate the legality of gay marriage with this far left cult-like LGBT agenda.
Yeah, agreed. That's definitely what we got to do. So, and the thing is that a lot of gays actually understand that too. It's the fucking crazy ones that don't like to freaking say it, in all honesty. Yeah. It's that plain and simple. The crazy ones want to push everything, but there are normal gays out there that just want to be there. They just want to get married, and that's it. You got the crazy gays that will just go ahead and be like, hey, you know what? Let's make sure that kids are trans. Let's make sure that we go ahead and indoctrinate them into everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see that chant. It was I want to say it was in New York. I might not have been, but it was probably one of these, secular liberal hellhole cities where they were chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children."
Yeah.
That's not your average gay person, don't get me wrong.
No.
But there is definitely some extreme agenda within the LGBT movement, okay? And I think that I will say it has cooled down a little bit this past year. I've noticed it's cooled down, okay? I think it has, at least. I think it's cooled down a little bit. And I hope that is the trajectory going forward, that it just keeps cooling down. And this idea of transitioning minors, it's fucking stupid. Like, we went from debating whether or not a man and a man can get married, which, again, it's against my religious principles, but on the legality side of things, I'm open to it. I'm definitely more than open to an argument. I mean, I'm cool with it, really. I think to each his own, okay? I don't agree with the constitutional interpretation, but I don't care if gay people get married in my state. I care more about if my taxes are, lower. You know what I mean? I think that's how you are too. I care more about if I'm saving money in my taxes, right? I care more about if I can afford to buy a home, right? That's where I stand on things. But the issue is that though we went from debating if gay marriage should be legal to debating whether or not it's okay for little boys to get put on Lupron, which, by the way, is a drug that is chemically castrating them, and this drug is used to chemically castrate sex offenders. And they're putting little boys on this who say they want to become a girl, right? It's unacceptable.
Yep. No, I mean, that's exactly it. We shouldn't be putting shit in people's bodies, period. It's that simple. But eventually, would I like to say that transgenderism should be illegal throughout? Yes. I would 100% back that. However, I live in reality, and I understand I can't do that. What we can do, though, is stop these idiots that want to go ahead and castrate their children and make sure that they cannot ever have a normal life ever again. We need to stop those people. We need to make sure that they, aren't around any fucking child ever again. And if they're the parent without any warning, their child should be taken from them. Period.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree. Again, this goes on with like how we think the Republicans can win again. This is actually an important issue. We don't want to go. We don't want to go. We don't want to go all the way in one direction on this issue. We shouldn't really go after gay marriage right now. That's another way that I think that would hurt our electoral chances. Okay, it's a losing issue. It's political suicide at the current moment. Okay, but what we should do is we have to stand firm against gender affirming care, gender affirming health care. Okay, we have to stand firmly against that nonsense, especially for minors. So I think what we've outlined in this entire podcast is something that the RNC, that President Trump, and that Republican candidates across this country need to take into serious consideration. Because if they do not, we may see 2010 on steroids in the midterms. Or if we're gonna say it in blue wave, we might see 2006 on steroids in the midterms.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So I think we basically hit up everything that we fucking wanted to now.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Well, Young Patriot, it's always a pleasure having you on here. We're going to have you back on soon. As you guys know, Patriot's going to be the part of the rotating cast of co-hosts that I have on this show. Next week, I haven't confirmed which one I'm going to have on just yet. It will either be Air to Mud, or it will be Polish Millennial, or if I'm drunk, it will be Polish.
That's why I call him Griffin Podcast, just to mess with them. Yeah. Y'all have a great time in the next show. I would love to come back on. If you ever want to have a time where it's the full panel, that'd be cool. But I understand rotating, just having one co-host each time. That's cool, because I mean, last time it seemed you didn't talk too much. Me and Gage, or Polish Millennial, seemed like we covered everything. So I definitely get it. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to next week's podcast, and I'm looking forward to you having me back on, brother.
Yeah, definitely. All right. See you later.